Hello everybody, welcome back to H4Games. I'm Tony.
I'm Brett.
And I am full of regret.
Yes, Richie suggested we beta Quest 64, and you guys in the comments agreed, so we are here to do the unthinkable and find the beta elements for Quest 64, a game that was pretty much released in its beta form anyways. It's like pretty unfinished, so really we could just play the game.
No! No!
You brought this upon yourself.
I haven't played that game since I was a kid, and I remember it being incredible. I would say flawless. It's the thinking man's Zelda. That's how I would describe it.
So for those of you that might be a little bit unfamiliar with what beta questing is, essentially it's uncovering unused content in the code of the game. So basically, as a game like Quest 64 was in development, some things were used, some things weren't, and some of the things that weren't used are still in the code and can be uncovered via codes with emulation, or in our case, with a GameShark Pro. This is a beta Windmill. It's similar to a Windmill that is actually in the game, but it has a World of Mammon makeover to it, meaning that it's more like dark and evil looking, basically. Spoiler alert, Mammon is the last boss of the game. It's also kind of like an area you go into toward the end of the game, and it has a certain art style.
Think of it like the World of Warcraft. It's exactly like the real world, only the colors are somewhat different.
Yes. Also notice how there's no like collision. You can just like walk through everything.
The game is called Quest 64. It's about a young chap named Quest as he completes 64 tests of bravery and sexual virility.
But mostly tolerance.
Mostly tolerance. Yeah.
You're the one who completes the quest of tolerance.
Fair point, fair point.
That's about Quest's adventures to save the beautiful Princess 64.
Now there's a slightly different version of this Windmill, which we can show now.
Do we have to?
Yes.
You're the one who forced us to do this. We're jumping back into this here. Now it has like a slightly...
It's a little brighter.
You know, when you get close to it, this particular beta version is a lot less sewery looking, but it's still somewhat sewery.
Wow, that was...
incredible!
So what that was is a piece of beta music. There's
You guys!
lots of them. There's lots of them that you can check out. We're gonna play a few of them. And it actually plays again here. So the story of this game, you play a character, he's a sorcerer's apprentice, but the thing is that like everything's so underwhelming and unfinished in this game. Like, and it starts with this, it being like, hey Brian.
Why Brian? That's not like a fantasy name.
No, it's not. It's like so.
That's
His
like,
father is Lord Bartholomew, and
Yeah, his
he
name is
named his
Brian.
son Brian. He's like...
his children Brian and Cody.
Whoa. Here's another beta piece of music. It's kind of like a more sinister remix of another piece that already exists.
The Monastery music.
A lot of the beta elements in this game are kind of remixes of other things that actually do exist in the game. So this game, when it was released, it was extremely rushed. So much so that the Japanese version and the European version actually kind of filled in a lot of the missing elements. It gave it a better ending, like a slightly better battle system.
Brian is spelled with a Y instead of an I.
Point being is that, you know, it's no wonder that a lot of the beta elements are just kind of remixed stuff. You know what I mean? Because like they were just reusing assets as placeholders, that kind of thing. So it's not like mind-boggling, but it's interesting. And just keep in mind that you asked for this.
You asked for
You
this.
literally asked for it.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
This is your fault.
So this is a song in the game, Limeland's theme, and it's just kind of played with flutes. It's just a slightly different instrumental version, basically. So that is kind of it with the codes that I could get to work.
Think that you're forgetting about dozens and dozens of music tracks.
I'm not forgetting, I'm choosing not to torture our audience. We kind of only got so far because a lot of these codes just didn't work for us. That said, there was a gentleman online, goes by the YouTube handle KOConDBZ, and he was able to access a lot of these areas that we want to showcase, and big thanks to him because he's allowing us to utilize his footage, which was very, very helpful because I would have spent like another couple months trying to figure this thing out. So first off is a floating map of Celtland. I think that's how you pronounce it, but basically...
I think it's Celtland.
Celtland? Probably is Celtland, isn't it?
It depends if you're from Boston or not.
Yeah, exactly. That said, here it is just floating in a void. It's just here, you can wander through it, you can walk through it. Now here's another one that he found that, I think he actually found this very recently, is an arrow just in the sky. So as you can see here, he's clipping through texture, through this through this area, he's going into the void, and there's this little, it could just be a leftover piece of texture that's pointed in arrow shape, but it kind of looks like an arrow.
Some believe that the arrow is always pointed toward your Nintendo 64, as if the game itself is begging you to turn it off. Never play it again. Let's talk about Monastery.
Yeah,
Can we please talk about Monastery?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. So the last piece here is the World of Mammon Monastery, and all it is a carbon copy of the Melroad Monastery, but with the World of Mammon, i.e., last boss, evil, sort of coloring. Now that said, they probably just used this as a placeholder for what they ultimately ended up using in the game. Just something easy, recolor it, bing, bang, boom.
Or maybe it was like an alternate monastery, like you reach a certain point in the game and then like you have to revisit the world,
like
but
the
it's
alternate version.
been captured.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The one problem with this game is not enough monasteries.
That's the biggest problem that I have with it. That's Quest 64, and you know it's not a good game. I tried playing it again so I could understand some of these areas a little bit better. I couldn't get very far because it was just so bad. So thank you very much everybody for watching. We're so sorry that Richie suggested this.
We're all so sorry.
Richie has formally apologized privately to all of us.
Oh, we feel ashamed just to know him.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm very comfortable with what has happened here.
No.
I mainly wanted to get back at Tony when I first mentioned Quest 64, and I feel like I have fulfilled my end of the bargain
You
there.
also get back at me, so now I have to get back at Richie.
That's right.
And then Tony's gonna need to get back at me for that.
So that said, we are wiping the slates clean. We're not going to listen to second place, third place, whatever of our last video. We need to know now.
Right now.
In the comments below, what game you want us to beta quest next. If there are codes available to beta quest, we will do it. If it's possible, we'll do it. Let us know which game.
If it's impossible, we might still do it. Might
We'll
just
see what
make
happens.
something up.
And I don't want to, stir the pot at all, but
Then don't, Richie.
I will suggest that we did several videos on Ocarina of Time, and even though there's probably almost certainly not any more content of Quest 64 for us to cover, I'm gonna throw its name into the ring here for y'all.
You son of a bitch.
We're not doing Quest 64 again, Richie.
I mean, to be
We're
fair,
not doing it again.
Let the people speak.
No. Thank you for subscribing.
Quest is
We'll
the
see you
thinking
guys
man's Zelda.
next time. Cheers. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and a share, and we will see you guys next time.